good Monday evening to everybody on an extremely hot day in Southwest Michigan and Northwest Indiana. Certainly hope everyone is staying hydrated, staying cool as much as you can, especially for those who have had to work outside in this heat, and it's only going to get hotter as the week goes. So again, definitely be taking care of yourself. But it is Monday, and it is the Monday Night Rewind, and tonight we are all about the New Paris Speedway as they have their Night of Destruction coming up this Friday night, July 3rd, at the New Paris Speedway. So again, we have Road Rage Mafia, who will be joining us at 7:05. I know Austin Richardson just joined in the chat area and staging area, and Megan, I think, will be joining along with him tonight too. And then we do have a special co-host tonight. Buju is taking the night off, so we will have someone joining us here shortly as a co-host. And then Jeremy Wortinger, the voice of the New Paris Speedway, will be joining us at 8:05 p.m. to be talking about Night Destruction and what he likes as an announcer and everything else. So again, if you've never heard him on the mic at New Paris, he'll definitely keep it entertaining. Don't forget, this Thursday, we have the Thursday Night Throttle as always. Well, I shouldn't say as always, because we have taken one episode off. And we do not have a throttle next Thursday because that is the World of Outlaws at the Hartford Speedway. So there will be no Thursday Night Throttle on July 8th, 9th, whatever that is, next Thursday. This Thursday, yes. Next Thursday, no, because I will be at Hartford Speedway for the World of Outlaws. But this Thursday, we're here, and Leah Dibble will be joining us along with Timmy Dibble. And Timmy will be drawing tickets for the BARF winner. So this week's BARF track will be the Hartford Speedway. So again, it is showtime. Again, Buju has the night off, but we'll be bringing on Austin here in just a little bit. So I do want to thank our presenting sponsors, ELH Detailing in Bridgman, Michigan, Federated Auto Parts, and then, of course, the National Compact Touring Series. So definitely add your comments, anything that you have, share this out, like this out. Again, you guys continue to help us grow. I do want to do a reminder, as we have done each week, for the marketing special from ELH Detailing. If you're looking for car detail inside outside, you use the code Top Row, and then that puts you in the running for a free detail that will be awarded first on July 13th. It could be used anytime within 1 year. And then the second time will be October 12th, giving more months to get a detail in, and that will also go for 1 year from those dates. You'll get a nice certificate from ELH Detailing. And then it is the 250th birthday this week of the United States of America, which means why not join the band club of everybody else doing 25% off? So on my store through July 6th, 25% off on all orders. I know Bailey Powell's ordered some things from there. He's excited to get them. And so he took advantage of the 35% discount last week, but it's 25 this week. Since it's $250, I'm not giving like 250% off, right? That wouldn't make sense. And $2.50 didn't make sense either. So, so again, hot. It's hot. I'm inside. I was going to sit outside, but no, thank you. So, let me know how you're doing in the heat today, because I went outside for a brief moment and not a fan. So I don't want the cold, but I don't want the hot. Anyways, it is almost 7:03, so I know I want to mention a huge kudos to Russell's M40 Speedway yesterday. They had their Merle Classic with cheese, and while they were light on car count, and I know a lot of fans opted to stay home yesterday, it wasn't as packed as the night before. Kudos to them to doing different things and trying different things to see what sticks at the wall. So, huge kudos to Russell's M40 Speedway for trying a Sunday show. I know their next one is a Day of Reckoning. So again, shout out to the team there. And it's a pretty efficient program. They did Australian Pursuits, which were a little different. You could tell not everyone was used to an Australian Pursuit. It's my first time seeing them, but it was definitely a Mottville throwback. I want to thank Kurt Grubb for the Mottville hat. So all winners yesterday got this hat, and it says feature winner on the back. Mine does not say that. I did not win anything, but I did get this awesome hat. So thank you to Kurt Grubb for that. And then and I was at the Kalamazoo Night of Destruction, where we did a little bit of Pac-Man, which we got from New Paris, and Drew Ritter survived putting it through a camper, and that's what made me so excited to talk about the New Paris Night of Destruction. So again, my co-host will be joining shortly. They're doing remote work right now, but our first guest will be Road Rage Mafia. So I'm going to bring him on the staging area now, because I know Austin is hanging out there. So again, I want to make sure I click the right graphic too, so I don't give away the co-host. But welcome, Austin, to the Monday Night Rewind.
How you doing today?
Other than I am inside where it's nice and cool, I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Megan will be joining us here in about 15 minutes or so.
Yep, nope, you're good there. Because I mean, there's a lot that we want to cover, and I know when my co-host gets in here, it's someone who you'll know very well. They know their way around the New Paris Speedway Night of Destruction extremely well, and so just waiting for them to do their remote work. But I know we talked a few weeks ago, and I won't be at this Night of Destruction, which is what I'm disappointed in a sad way. Like I enjoy being at there, even though I'm excited to be at Kalamazoo and see the MCR dwarf cars. They always put on an awesome show and everything. So I'll be on the roof at Kalamazoo, but I'll definitely be watching to see highlights and everything for anyone who might get them at New Paris. Because again, you guys just put on an incredible show there, and I know you help kind of tech the cars and everything too. So why don't we kind of rewind here? It is the Monday Night Rewind. Rewind a little bit and tell us, Austin, a little bit. This is my softball question of the night. Tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got into Night of Destruction, and now racing. You're a weekly racer now in the Hornets. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then this is a shoot first, aim second kind of show. So then we'll just go from there.
So I have been around racing since I was 3 days old. My dad raced late models, street stocks. So always being at the track was a an every weekend thing for me as a kid. And then I got a little older, and then I couldn't afford going buying a street stock or anything like that. So Night of Destruction is where I could afford to do it
Yep.
5 years ago. And I got hooked. The adrenaline rush that you get being inside of a $500 car, running around there, and the friendships. The friendships is what's the biggest thing that's kept me around.
Well, and that's something that, again, and I always tell even Chris and Tracy this and others, nobody, and I believe this for anybody except for maybe Elon Musk, because he's more money than what he'll ever know what to do with. But most people in their lives don't make enough money to fluff anybody, right? And so I always say that the New Paris Night of Destruction, I think, is the number one in the area. And Galesburg, though, given a nice run for the money, after experiencing their Night of Destruction. But I feel like a top to bottom um, program, New Paris just knows what they're doing, knows how to do it, is always innovative, coming up with different things. But it's not on the track that is the big focus. It's what you just talked about. It's off the track that you just see the friendships there. You see the different things. I mean, I see Tabitha is in the chat area, and she was at Kalamazoo on Friday, and I'm walking busy doing my own thing, and then I hear Lewis, and I turn and I'm like, oh. So I climbed up, and that was really cool to see them up at Kalamazoo. Got to talk a little bit and everything, and it's those friendships, right, that just really forms, and it's something that I don't see in every nod pit area per se. And that's not to say anything against those tracks, and it's not anything to say against those competitors, right? There's a lot of competitors who go all over, but you just get a big feel in the New Paris pit area. So again, I always tell Chris and Tracy that's a huge kudos to them and the program that they're running there. I know they inherited a reputation, just like Donnie Klotz inherited a reputation, right? You can't always change that, but it's like, man, someone just walk through there and just see, hey, that guy just broke. Well, 10 people are helping that guy get back onto the track, because we're here to put on a show, and every car counts, right? Every car matters, every driver matters. So hearing you say that and the friendship and that what keeps you coming, I wanted to highlight that for those who maybe haven't experienced it yet, and hopefully maybe July 3rd will, because it's awesome what you guys have there.
The July 3rd show is my favorite by far. I mean, it's always the best, from in between what us drivers do to the fireworks to
Yep.
just the organization of the show, from going from one event to the other. I mean, it's just they try to keep it moving as fast as what they can for the crowd. And that is one good thing about New Paris compared to a couple other tracks that we have been to. The speed of getting on to the next event is normally pretty decent at New Paris.
Yeah, and that's something that we were just talking about this over the weekend. Kalamazoo had 6 or 7 events, right? And, spread throughout, mostly in-house cars. The only outside competitors were in the spectator race and then in the trailer race. Every other race was hand-picked drivers with hand-picked cars. And, it's a little different, right? And it works for Kalamazoo, but that's where, you go down to New Paris for $15, although this time it's $18 for this week, which I figured firework prices is probably what changed that. But usually $15, and for $15 you're getting almost 20 events, and it's nonstop action, as you said. And it's you got figure eight racing, which you guys without a wall there can do. A lot of tracks don't, they have obstacles, so they can't do quite figure eight racing, but you have that. You have the New Paris Fire Department that comes out. Yes, they pay for the water, by the way, for those who always get triggered by the fire department, watering an asphalt track. It's like they pay for the water, they pay for all that, but that's a community thing too. And so that's where each nod, and I know Chris and Tracy are excited for this one. They have a couple events up their sleeves that they're rolling out, which I protested. I'm like, when I'm not there, like, come on. But
So I was the guinea pig for those races, and it's definitely going to be worth coming.
Saturday, right? You tried out some of them, right?
Yes. Last Saturday we tried a couple of the races out. I had to I don't want to talk too much on it, but it's definitely going to be a fun one to watch.
So do you want to peel the onion back a little bit and explain then for you why this this Friday, I got to get, if I say Saturday, just know I mean Friday. It's July 3rd, Friday. Do you want to explain a little bit why the July one for you stands out compared to the 6 other events that they have throughout the year?
Typically, car count's bigger. We typically don't have an open pit stall in the pits. So typically there's over 100 cars there. I know myself, I know the Coneheads, we all try to bring as many cars as what we can. And that's just something that makes it better because a driver can hop from car to car and still be able to put a show on for the rest of the night, which a lot of people don't see it that way, but it is. It is. If we can keep going on the show, then that's what makes the show so great.
So when you think of all the events that you have done at New Paris, and obviously you have some new ones that are coming that may replace some of these as like a favorite, what ones do you enjoy participating in? And what ones do if you don't participate in them, what ones do you enjoy watching others participate in? I mean, Road Rage Mafia is pretty busy. You can even talk a little bit about how you came up with the name Road Rage Mafia, who the team members are, and how that came to be. But like, what events stand out to you that you really look forward to every time you strap in the car?
So the name actually came up because my stepdad, Dennis, he said we all had road rage. Well, that's just kind of where the name came from.
Okay.
We were standing in the front yard one day, and we were like, we got to come up with a team name, and it just stuck, and we've just kind of went with it. I've got Jerry. I can only name off a handful of people because it's hard to remember everybody's names. I remember cars better than I remember names. But I've got Jared, Megan, me, Hunter, uh, Jeff. Oh, there's so many more. I can't. I think in a typical NOD night, there's like 45 to 48 cars that's got road rage on them.
Yep.
And it's just, yeah.
Well, and I still want to go back to your events, but for those who are watching who may not know, right, they may not get to New Paris or haven't been in New Paris, which I keep recruiting people to go down there and try it, not only on the racing side, like Motorhead Miller Mafia, who usually races at Corgan Oil, Springport, when Springport's open and that kind of deal. They're looking to travel down. I'm like, come on down, just make sure you're fit the rules. They'll probably be in our upper division of the front wheel drives. But then for Night of Destruction, Recovery Racing, quite frankly, a few of them where I'm like, come on down, give it a shot. So like Brad Weston team, they're hoping to get down there. Because I said, if you like these other Night of Destructions, New Paris is going to make you, I know this may not be politically correct, but Chris Mandel's on here, so it feels appropriate. But, you may need to go have a smoke afterwards. So because it is just bonkers crazy, especially the Pac-Man. Nobody can do Pac-Man like New Paris, just because you guys don't have obstacles to work with like everybody else does. And so you do have an advantage. That's why I call it the arena of destruction. But that sidebar is that there's a bunch of teams. You have Aaron Hapner, the New Paris Shark. Then you have the Patriot, Jurassic, Oriole Racing. Then you have Angry Unicorn. Then you have the Minions. Then you have, I'm going to start forgetting. You got, I think it's Brandon Racing, right? And then Coneheads. Just cone heads. There's a bunch of them, right? And then you got rum runners. I mean, you just have all of these teams. So do you want to talk a little bit about why maybe that works at New Paris where there are all these teams, and then we'll come back to your favorite events.
So we all may be teams, but we're all one big family. I mean, everybody will help out everybody. There's not a single person in that pits and nobody will help. If you need help, somebody will be there to help. And I think that's just what's different because we have our own little circles in this big circle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like going to a family reunion. You have all your little circles and then your big circle.
Or the circle of life.
Yeah.
You know, you're destroying cars, but helping each other and coming through. And so again, it's just, like I always say, it's just kudos to all. But I see my co-host has joined. I'm going to thumbs up, or if you're good to go. Are you good? He does have he didn't use his thumb. He didn't follow directions. Not surprising, by the way. But well, I'll bring on my co-host for to talk about this because talk a little bit about your favorite events then. Did we just lose him? I didn't touch that button. Hopefully I wonder if his phone got hot. That could happen too. Well, oh no, he's still here. You got a notification, didn't you?
Well, I don't know if Frank's around Jeremy, but Jeremy just tried calling me.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's my other thought is, oh no, he got a notification and he got another one too. So.
Oh, he's still there.
Yep.
Somebody tell Jeremy to quit calling me.
Yeah.
He's like, y'all forgot Last Minute Mafia when you were announcing.
So
hey, we've got to announce Last Minute Mafia, like it.
Yeah.
Last Minute Mafia. Yeah. But yeah, my co-host everyone tonight, of course, is Frank Gasco from Rock 107, or not Rock 107, excuse me, Rock Classic Rock 97.7. I'm up in Michigan where we have Rock 107, so I've been listening to those ads all day. But 97.7 Rock, Classic Rock, what is it, ZOW?
Yes, sir.
I got all that right, but in my area, you got Rock 107. So, but at least I got the call numbers or call letters right. But definitely 97.7. Listen to Frank, of course, a part of the South Bend Auto Show. But Frank, as you joined on, we were just getting ready to talk about favorite events for Austin because we kind of went there, and then he did the team thing, and so I'm like, wait, let's talk about that for those who may not know and understand just what makes New Paris Night Destruction so special and just the environment. You know, pits.
It's actually kind of funny you bring Frank on because my favorite event of all time was me and him running Pac-Man. And Aaron gave me a run for my money. That was probably hands down the funnest event that I did. And you can ask Frank. I literally cried on the front stretch because I want to make sure Aaron was all right. Aww. Because like that's just a communication or like the family side of the whole event.
To add to that, but can you guys hear me okay? It's kind of loud where I'm so I'm also doing this on the back end of a remote for the radio station. So I apologize getting on here a little late. But I remember looking over and I just seen you trucking down the front straightaway. I was like, oh my God, he's going to get him. You got him. And let's see about him. And I was like, oh my God, what a hit. But, you know, we go back to what you just said about your emotion that you showed. There is people that do this Night of Destruction thing that they don't have that kind of compassion. They'd rather just junk your car and just, oh, I got you. No, that's not how we do things. That's not how we've ever done things. The first thing we think about is we're all friends, man. First of all, we can be back there in the pits and we are going to be.
We'll go this way.
The minute we hit that racetrack, it's all entertainment purposes.
Yep.
Something happens to somebody out there, we are pulling up, or even if under red, if that's our buddy that's not moving, we're pulling up and we're going to be right behind the safety team if we get in trouble or not. And, you know, the compassion that Austin showed that night for Hapner was, you know, next to none. And of course, Hapner builds absolute tanks. And, you know, but he, that was not, he bent the steering wheel backwards. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. The steering wheel bent backwards from where he went back at the ball. And he was a little soft He was a little salty, but by the end of the night, we were all able to talk everything out, and me and Hapner also had about many years ago. This goes back to Jeremy. I know Jeremy's watching. I didn't know Hapner like that at the time, and we decided that we were going to go shark hunting.
Oh, yeah.
Shark Week, and we decided to take a Mountaineer and another car and we put Shark Week down the side of it, and we were aiming for that Grand Prix. And I thought that I was going to get him, and I was a little too much. And when I hit him, I thought, oh my God, I think I might have hurt him. Nope, I busted the ball joint and the spindle on my Mountaineer, and I flipped him off while he's shoving my truck down the front straightaway in the and I'm leaned over the center console, flipping him off while his car is still pushing my truck. So it was called a truce at the end of that night, and we've been really good friends ever since. And it's just the Night of Destruction family is very close. So,
well, and again, you feel it walking through. I mean, I've kind of been brought into the family, right? I was an outsider who came in, and I walk around, and it's Ralph, who's not on here. He probably forgot about the show by now. He usually comes in late, but you got Ralph, who's so dang excited every single time to tell me how many speakers he has in his car, and how excited what music he's playing, and you just get to walk around and you feel it, right? Coneheads doing their reveal, right? Then we did that again for fill up, right? And we just did different things that you just see that. And I even remember a few years ago there's a lost kid. It was just before like a fox and hound kind of race or whatever it was, but there's a lost kid, and I actually think, Frank, you were on the track, and I know Peyton Mullins and a couple others, and you all got out of the car and you said, we're not doing anything until this kid and this family, and so everybody's watching.
I think Gilbert and I, we were getting ready for Gilbert. We were all lined up for the Duck Duck Goose. That was one
Duck Goose. Yes.
That video of Seth and I going after each other at the end. That was that night, and we all parked on the front straightaway. We are not moving.
Yeah.
The comes here until we find this child.
Yeah. Yep. You got out of that car. Everybody did.
Yeah.
And you got an applause for it. I mean, you look like the crowd was on your side, right? Like the crowd's like, yeah, find your kid, right? Come on. And, you kind of you don't feel for the parents, right? I get kids do run away. Like, trust me, I know how kids can run away, and anybody who has kids, as you guys probably right? But at the same time, like now you got thousands of people, you got the pressure of thousands of people of you better find this kid. And you're also holding up the show right now, but we're not mad at them. The longer that they sit on the front stretch parked, it's your fault, right? Like it's not the driver's fault. And you guys got such a huge round of applause for that too. And again, that's just where, there's the fans.
I don't deserve anything like that. We don't deserve any recognition or anything like that. I would think that anybody in that position would do the same thing. I'd like to think, we don't deserve any recognition for that.
Where else?
I'm pretty sure that 98% of the pits, we all have kids. So if we were in that spot where it was our kid, that's what we would want somebody else to do.
Yeah.
Nicole just picked up Elena a little while ago, and Elena's getting ready to turn 11 this year. The first time I won a backwards race, I have a picture of Nicole and I in victory lane. She's about ready to pop with Elena. And Elena's been through this her entire life. Like Saturday nights are time at the track. Like Elena, my daughter doesn't know anything but the racetrack. My son's the same way. And, going back to almost having kids, our kids grew up here like the regular racers. I mean, can't get away from it.
No.
Well, and do we, when you even bring up regular racers or weekly racing, right? Like, Austin, something that you had said earlier. Now, Frank, you and I have had this conversation too, because Frank, you've raced in other cars, right? I mean, you didn't just do Night of Destructions, where, you're probably most famous for everything that you've done, which I know you don't like hearing, but take it. You're the co-host now, so you got to kind of listen to it a little bit. But anyways, that, one thing, Austin, that you mentioned, I know Frank has mentioned this too, and Tabitha would know this from the South Bend Auto Show. So let me go to the South Bend Auto Show to segue into this. So South Bend Auto Show, right? We're in Backstretch Alley is what I called it. And her car's there, and she's surrounded by $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $20,000. Frank just went. Oh, $20,000 cars. There's a little kid who walks in, and he says, "Mommy, that's a real race car." Do you want to know what car he pointed to? Tabitha's. Not the late models that had like 12 trophies on it, not the street stocks that were right there, but it was this purple, beat up, Night of Destruction car with the unicorn out the back of it and unicorns all over it, sitting there, and thousands and thousands and thousands worth of dollars of equipment and everything else. And that's what the kids saw as a real race car. And so what I want to segue into that, right, is that there are a lot of people who go to these Night of Destructions, right? I mean, everybody knows that tracks do these because it does help with the bottom line. I mean, we do know that. But again, at New Paris, it's a whole different field. But Austin, you just jumped into Hornet racing. And Megan, we didn't forget about you. I will be coming to you.
You're good.
She hops on a Hornet car in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, because you've been testing it out. But you said, like, you were able to do racing because of Night of Destructions. Like, you couldn't go out and spend all this money on all these cars. So do you want to like peel that onion back a little bit even there and talk about like the cost difference of like what you might put into a Night of Destruction car versus what you don't have to give exact figures, by the way.
You're good.
But, we're not going to sit there and ask you for the exact seat section that you're sitting in, right? But to what you've invested in the Hornet, like what's the difference for you?
So Frank will know this just as good as I do. You go buy a $400 or $500 car, you take it out there and you race it and you scrap it the Monday after Night of Destruction.
I don't scrap mine. I keep mine all year. Mine's a little bit better.
Now let's hold on a second here. I've had several stock cars, stock as it can be, including the Ford Fusion and the G6. I raced for a year and a half, 2 years before I scrapped them. So speak for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Speak for himself.
Okay, I might drive a little harder than most people because I'm out to put on a show. I don't care about the money that you're winning or the $10 trophy or anything like that.
So my car has what, $500, and the Hornet is like,
I paid $900 for it.
I probably have about $2,000 in my Hornet right now as it sits. And that's just to get it race ready. And it's not even fully done yet. It's just enough to go out and race and pass. And we still have more to do over the winter to get it to where it needs to be.
And it's already competitive, though. I mean, let's think about that. Like, for that,
Yeah.
I mean, it's already competitive.
We have 2 Hornets.
Yep.
So I bought Jason Lulai's old car for X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh no, we don't have the exact numbers.
But I'm like $2,500 in that car now. So the change of the money is, yes, regular racing does cost more money. Did I have to spend that much? No, but I fixed a lot of things for safety wise. A Night of Destruction car, you basically do bare minimum for safety, unless you're some people, and then you do full cages, full seats.
Yeah.
I have done that before. It didn't end up in my best favors, so I just started going back to doing 1 car a night, and if it happens, it happens. And that's like right now, I got to buy something between now and Friday so I can go race the Friday.
Well, in fairness, it's Monday, so you still have time.
Yeah, right? He's got 5 days.
Because, and that's the thing, too, that, like I said, the New Paris fire truck is probably the most triggering fire truck on Facebook, because at least one time a night, then you get firefighters arguing over the dish soap and all these other things and why you use it and don't use it. And I'm like, out of everything to argue about, this is what we're arguing
Dish
about.
soap.
Dish soap and asphalt getting watered. But this is exactly part of why is that, a lot of these cars are gut and go. And rather than just like pedal to the metal, which, like most are doing pedal to the metal, and a brake pedal does not probably exist for many. The water and the soap especially helps slow down those speeds, helps slow down the action, encourages contact, but also helpful, not hopefully destructive, like bodily damaging contact, right? Like, and that's something that, that's why even like Hartford, I know Hartford just gets such crapped on, sometimes with the amount of water they put down, but it's also like, okay, but it's a 3/8 wicked mile. It's not the half
Yeah.
mile like before, but you get too fast going on there and you hit the wall just right, you're not going to be able to tell the story about it. So go
The
ahead.
slowest one that I've ever been to was the first ever M40 New Year's. I think Frank had a part in that one. And that was probably the funnest one that I've been to, but it was definitely the slowest moving one that I've been to.
Wasn't
Is
it
it-
icy? Didn't
That
it
was
snow?
that was
20.
2019.
so that's the show where we didn't use the track, correct? We used the field.
No, we used both.
Okay, because the one that I'm thinking of is this. That was a show the Dalton Winter Road put on, and we were out in the field because the track had been cut up. They were laying down new pavement and fixing holes and things like
No.
that.
This was the year before that.
That would have been the year before that one.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. But yeah.
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 I didn't go to that one. It was too cold for me. I don't do the cold.
But if you want to slow one down, do an NOD in the winter. It'll definitely be a slow pace, but the drivers will have really good fun.
Yeah. We got the voice in here. He found the private chat. He's saying, I called one at M40 with Jeremy Templeton and Mark Stahl on New Year's Day. So,
Yep.
yeah, Jeremy, the voice, is already kind of hanging out in the staging area there. But so I saw the private chat. I'm like, who's messaging? He found the chat. But let's not forget, since it is 7:30, before we continue on, of course, I gave him a shout out, then he left, but he's back now. It is 7:30. Reminder to share this out. It gets everybody watching, especially talk about new Paris Night Destruction. Megan, like I said, did not forget about you coming your way, but co-hosting tonight with me, Bougie is the night off. We have Frank Gasco, Russell's M40 Speedway announcer, Mex Billy when he's in the car, and also you can listen to him on Classic Rock 97.7. I almost did it again. WZOW out of South Bend area. And then, of course, we have Road Rage Mafia with Megan and Austin Richardson. So we're talking new Paris Night Destruction. I know the voice is hanging out. Jeremy Wortinger will be joining us here in just a little bit. But again, like, share, put it out there. Let people know that the Monday Night Rewind is on. So again, back to the conversation. Megan, like I said, we did not forget about you. And I know you're going to be jumping in the Hornet. And that's what Austin has been testing out for you as he works on his other one.
Yes.
You do the Night of Destructions as well, too. So do you want to talk a little bit about even like, we already did this with Austin, so now he can listen to you. Maybe just in case he doesn't any other time, right? But talk a little bit about how you got into racing, and then what you like about like the Night of Destructions, especially as a female competitor, which New Pairs has quite a few female competitors who also go out and put on a summer show. Like you all will hit each other, and and you're not just doing the GI Jane race. Many of you are jumping into those other races too that, at other tracks, it's if you do a ladies race, you can't do anything else. And that ladies race is no contact. It's almost like going to a middle school pickup line.
Literally.
Where it's like, okay, so you went around in circles for 10 times. Congratulations. Where New Paris, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I think your races might even be better than, some of the others that it's just guys out there. So talk a little bit about your background in racing and then the Night of Destructions.
So what was it? He randomly was like, hey, do you want to do it? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And then one day he just was like, okay, we'll come out. I have the car. He had it all ready for me. He gave me his helmet, at that point we didn't have neck braces, so just his helmet. And he's like, okay, just go out there. And I was freaking out. I was a nervous wreck. I think I told you I wanted to get out of the car like 6 times. Well, finally we pull out there. He's like, well, it's too late. You're already out there. And I'm like, okay. So that was what year? 2020. 2021.
Yeah, 2021.
2021 was my first one, and I think it was September. And then I ended up getting my own car for that October. And I was dead set from there. I loved it. And at that point, I think I only did, at that point, it was G.I. Jane or Mom's Race.
And figure 8.
And figure 8 is all I did. And I did that for an entire year. And then the next year, I had the same car, and I was like, I think I can do more. So I started doing more. What did I do? Figure 8, Mom's Race. I did Pac-Man for a while until I realized I'm not a Pac-Man driver. I fail every time. I feel like I'm gonna flip because you
Oh,
go through that infield and you just turn so hard.
Yeah.
Not for me. I like to have my four wheels on the ground. And then honestly, it's just took off from there. I started doing like wrench it up the last 2 years. We've been doing the 180 enduro.
yep.
I've been doing the car enduro. So I've just fallen in love with those, and those is what I stuck to. And we just keep going from there. I think I'm gonna try out those new races this time. You gonna try them out with me?
No.
He said no. He doesn't want to.
Frank, are you coming? Are you coming Friday?
Oh, the straw. Am I coming Friday?
Yeah.
I am gonna lead the fifth so far. I would like to, but I don't know if we can make it happen. No, sure we can, but let me rephrase. It's going to depend on my work schedule. Let's do that. Let's say that. It'll
Yeah.
depend on my work
Well,
schedule.
if you
I've
do
got-
show up, you wanna try one of those new races with her?
Oh, I'm not a good driver.
I-
Whatever it is, I promise. I'm not a good driver. I may look like I know what I'm doing. I don't. I pray that the car handles and that I don't break it.
a couple things up our sleeve here, and I've made the comment that I really would like to go racing this weekend. Got a lot of things to do, a lot of stuff still at the radio station, but I do have a couple of vehicles that I think that would make it there. One I may or may not have been driving over the weekend, just to make sure. Cool. Yeah, I've actually driven it to work all weekend long. So,
Of course you have.
so we'll see. We're gonna stay on the bench for the moment, but if we pull in, we pull in, and I hope we do because I'm sure we'd be looking forward to it. I think it's been a year.
It's been a while.
It's been a year.
Year.
It's been a year since we ran together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's been that way for the last couple of years. I get to run once or twice a year, and
Yeah.
my schedule just doesn't allow it. But I sure would like to get out there and have some fun with you guys.
We'll see if you even get to pull in with a car. I'm the only one with a running car right now. And mine's the autism car, so I'm not painting it any which way. It's staying the autism
Right.
car.
Right.
Yeah, no, I got a call the other day from a buddy that had something I will not say on a podcast, but I know what it's capable of, and supposedly it had this or that wrong with it. I've put 400 miles on it so far since Thursday morning.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Is it one that you posted on Facebook on the trailer?
He's not
No.
gonna say it.
Mm,
Don't make him say it.
But, I got a couple of trucks lined up too. If we can get those running right, if we don't make it to this one, we're going to make it to one by the end of the year for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead, Frank.
No, that's all right.
Oh. So Tracy's on here, and I know she loves telling the story about the Survivor 180, Megan. So do you want to talk a little bit about the Survivor 180 because that is coming back this year? So
Yes.
for those who haven't seen the new pair schedule yet, if you want to do a team enduro and Tracy or Chris or somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, that each driver has to have a certain amount of time in the car, and I think it's like 30 minutes minimum in the car, an hour or something like that.
30 minutes.
30 minutes, but it's a 3-hour enduro.
Yep.
But everybody has to have a chance, but it also brings in like strategy, like tire strategy and fuel strategy.
Yes.
And it's in the kidney bean chicane kind of deal, right? It's not just on the circle track, going left all the time, like you're left and right and left and right. So do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because last year you guys, and Tracy loves telling this, you guys lost power steering. And you were the only female team, if I'm also remembering correctly, out there. So if you want to talk a little bit about the Survivor 180, especially for those who are watching who may be interested in doing the 180 this year at New Paris. And I will look up the date while you're talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, it was me, Tabitha DeWitt, and then Felicity Clausen. I think it's her last name. Yeah. We literally were just joking about running. And then all of a sudden, Austin's like, well, we got a car. You want to run? And I'm like, sure. An all-girl team. That'd be really cool.
I went and bought them a 70,000 mile Grand Dam to do that in.
Yes, it was amazing. And we got out there. He hauled the car, and we got out there, and I was the first driver. And I think maybe 25 minutes in, everybody started like just like banging and hitting right off the bat. And I was trying to stay out of it, but I was towards the front, and I got my front right wheel clipped. I think it was it Spencer's team?
So I think it was Spencer's team.
I think it was Spencer Warninger's team. I don't know which driver, but they clipped the front and we lost all power steering. I thought it was me. I thought I was just, I don't know what. And by the time we came in after that half hour, I was driving for a full hour. My arms were burning. I was like, there's something wrong with the car. I don't know what's going on. I think I broke it. I'm so sorry. Like, I was profusely apologizing. He checks it and he's like, well, you ain't got no power steering fluid. I'm like, great. So all of us girls were just trying to manhandle it, and it was not light. I mean, I think we ended up switching another Tabitha, and then it was me again, and then Felicity.
Double-handed on the steering wheel.
Oh, I was double-handed white knuckling it, like just full on. And really, if you brake too hard, you're slowing down, so it's harder. So we're just like, whatever, floor it.
And then sometime within the race, the gas pedal broke.
Oh my gosh, it was terrible. So our gas pedal was broke, so it wasn't even going all the way to the floor.
Which
No power steering.
I think the gas pedal kind of helped them, because then they could pretty much leave it to the floor
Yeah.
to get around the track, because their lap times were pretty consistent at that point in time.
Well, and I'm not going to tell no secrets, but our switch time was amazing. We had the lowest switch time between drivers, and it's just because we figured out how to do it so quickly, and everyone else was just struggling. I'm like, guys, it's really not that hard. Use your brains. Like, it's not hard. But we ended up third after all that, and it felt really good to be the only girl team and be up there with all of them, like well-known drivers who, well, to be frank, they whip our butts every night. Like, so it was nice to be up there next to them. Like, hey, you are a girl team and you did compete and you did get up here in third place. Like, that's a nice view for, even girls who want to, do this in the future. Like, that's something that we love. And we love to be out there for those little girls.
Yes. Yeah. And that's where Tabitha, right? She's also someone who just really stands out with the community involvement that she does. And I know you guys have too with Road Rage Mafia, where, you're out in the community. And that's the one thing that I know there are track owners and promoters who absolutely dislike at all costs a night of destruction, and they could care less about them, don't want anything to do with them, but they also know there's a bottom line that they kind of have to worry about. And so it's a checkbox for them. Yep. It's a check mark. Let's get to weekly racing. This ain't real racing is the favorite quote that I hear. And it's okay. Everybody's allowed their thing. But at the same time, I know Night of Destructions, like we had DJ McCotter on here a few weeks ago. He got into weekly racing because of Night of Destructions.
Yep.
And how he got to the track. And that's where Night of Destructions get such a bad rep, because they tear the track up and all these things. And I'm not saying it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But I've seen late models tear up the track too, and themselves.
Me too.
Yes. And the wall, and they might even hit the wall more than a Night of Destruction car. So
and leave bigger cracks. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and so again, everything to itself, right? But that's where being out in the community, doing community things, doing touch of trucks, and taking cars out there, putting them in parades. I tell a lot of people it's the New Paris Night of Destruction group who's out there promoting New Paris Speedway the most.
Yeah.
And it's like, and again, everyone's busy. That's not a knock on anybody. I get it. Life's busy for people. But at the same time, it's like, these guys want to see this track succeed. They want this track to be here. They come as fans, even when they're not. Jacob Kelly works at the track. Austin works at the track on the safety team, does different things. Like, they're involved in the track and they want it to be successful. So I think, you have that, but then you add on that there's so many female competitors. I mean, that race will have at least 15, 16 cars in it, usually, even more. And it's the little girls that you see cheering when you guys are out there, because they know everyone in there is female. They know when you guys are on the front stretch. And I think that's what's so awesome too, is because you never know who's watching, who's going to go. I think of even like Sage Hannah watching Cindy Stremme. And like, you never know who's watching, who's going to go, I want to be just like them. Again, the story of Tabitha's car, surrounded by all these $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 late models and street stocks and everything else. And a little kid walked in and said, "Mommy, that's a real race car."
Yep.
They didn't point to the race cars. They pointed to the Night of Destruction car, but in their eyes, they saw a race car. So it's like, let's just be one community here, as Austin kind of talked about earlier. We're all in this. We have our circles, but we're all in this together. So again, it's kudos to you getting out there, and it's not just going and doing ladies race and check marking it. You're out there putting on a show and all these things, and you did the Survivor 180. You didn't give up.
No.
Tracy just loves telling that story to everyone, because she said those girls kicked butt. She says a different word, but
she tells us every time we see her, she's like, "You guys did great," and I'm like, it means a lot, because girls do get knocked down a lot for doing a boy sport. That's what we get told. You're in a boy sport. If you're out here, we're gonna hit you like a boy. And I'm like, well, if I'm out here, then so be it.
315 laps.
Yeah, 315 laps with no power.
Oh, I love her.
Well,
Hey,
and
guys,
a lot of people may not realize.
Yes, I'll be right back.
Yeah. And a lot of people may not realize that, Tracy raced a Hornet, right? She's a Hornet driver, and
she's got one sitting in her garage. She
yes.
needs to finish.
Yep. We got it.
Leave her alone. She's busy running your racetrack that you run.
But again, Megan, if you want to talk a little bit about the 180, kind of help promote it, since you raced it, like you did it, if someone were to ask you, why should I do the 180, or why should I think about doing the 180? And then there's some questions in the chat that I'm going to bring up to you guys. Why should someone come out there and do it?
Honestly, I think it just tests your driving skill. I learned a lot from that last year. I think I came out a better driver.
Wow.
And it's all about, even the strategy. Like, I never would have thought about any of the gas, the tires, the anything, until we started eating them up, and we did have to take a little break on them. And as a team, like us three girls, we literally were cheering each other on the whole time. So it just felt like a tight-knit thing. And we just continue that. Like, I feel like your teams are always just get closer and closer the more you do. Like, we always, even at the end of any night, we go back and we debrief together. Like, we laugh about it. Like, what did we just do? Like, that was terrible. But honestly, it's just so fun. And at the end of the day, you have, I think last year we only had 15 cars.
I don't even think it was that many.
I think we only had maybe 12 cars, but it was their first year. So I'm hoping to see 20 plus, because I feel like that's going to make it a lot bigger.
I blew mine up within the first 9 laps.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
Poor him. He had to cheer me on. But it's just all about that. And you got to have a really good car, and you got to strategize with your team on who's a defensive driver, who is more aggressive, who can, which way you need to go. And
which person you're going to put where for their driving ability.
Yes.
That does make a big difference in that race.
100%.
So again, it's strategy. So if there's drivers who like strategy, like doing different things, or like having
challenges,
a thought process, right? Something to go do. And so how would someone build a car for this? Is it gut and go? Is it cage in there? What's the expectation?
Honestly,
me being tech, I'll take this one.
Okay, you take
it. Basically, it's going to be a gut and go car, but you have to have a driver's side door bar.
Okay.
The driver's side doors bar, just in case something would go wrong. It's something that I think that should be in every car that's going to be doing this.
We did have a few mishaps at the last one. Just, you get turned sideways, it's nobody's fault, and you just kind of get dinged. But it's more of a precaution. If something was to happen, at least you're protected somehow, some way. And I feel like that's a big thing.
Yeah, no, again, it's scrolling at the bottom. That's why I haven't changed yet. So again, we're talking about the Survivor Enduro, which is just, we happen to get that way in the conversation. Like I said, Austin, earlier, this is a shoot first, aim second. We just kind of go wherever.
Yeah.
We're not scripted here like some others, or, we just.
Trust me, I asked him, I said, is there a script? Because I think I would like one.
conversation. It's like sitting at a campfire right now having a conversation, except there's people watching us have the conversation. So, and they're having their own conversations in the chat. So that's where I kind of want to go to. But just to plug it, Survivor 180, July 18th at the New Paris Speedway. It's a 3-hour enduro. It's a team event, so there has to be 3 drivers, and each driver has to log at least 30 minutes of that. So in total, minimum 90 minutes spread across those 3 drivers, and then however you decide strategy from there. But I mentioned earlier the teams at New Paris and the amount of teams that you guys have, and Mitchell is in here, who asked this question from Team Jurassic, Team Oreo, Team Patriot, is what was the most nerve-wracking moment or story on the New Paris track that you guys have had?
You have had one, and then I'll think of mine.
So mine was probably mine and Dakota Williams. It would have been
2 years ago on opening night.
2 years ago, April 24th. You were there. You have it on video.
Yep.
And when me and him and I don't know who the third person was, we went to the finals in the figure 8.
Yes.
And we were literally bumper against bumper coming out of the X, and I couldn't slow down in time.
Nope.
I closed my eyes and I said, "Well, if this is the time, it's the time." And, well, I got out. I jumped out of the car while it was still rolling.
You did. I have a picture of it.
What? Because wasn't that your van? No,
that was my silver Grand Prix.
Yeah, because that was turn 1 that you.
Turn 1.
Yeah. I remember that, even though I've recorded a lot since then. But you remember these moments, right? And
yes, I do.
Hitting.
Jeremy definitely remembers it. And I go back just to rewatch it, just to hear what he says that I can't say on here. But it was one of those competitive moments, but very nerve-wracking at the very end.
Yeah. Well, and now that he's on the mic and it goes through my camera, he let out one a few weeks ago where someone hit the wall and he like
yep. He does it every time. It cracks me up.
It's a natural reaction, and no one got offended by it, thankfully. So just based on Facebook comments I saw today, no one should get offended by it. But
right.
But anyways, Megan, go ahead and tell yours.
Oh, honestly, I don't really drive as hard as everyone else. I think the only one that I was pretty nervous over and I freaked out over, I messed up. It was probably last year. What race was that? May? I think it was the May race. I hit turn 1 wall. I was coming in too hot and I slammed on the brakes and it was real watery that day. And I went straight into the wall. I maybe hit it doing 20. I thought I hit it doing 60. I was having a full-on panic attack.
Yeah.
I was like, get me out of this car. I couldn't even get out fast enough. And I did end up hitting my helmet on the steering wheel. And then I came back and I was like, I'm fine. Like, I just need to get out. I think that was the only time I've had like a really bad anything. And I try to keep it pretty good just because I have 2 little kids and I want to stay good for them.
Right. Well, and that's with these being go cars, right? Things can go south.
Oh, yes.
And even unexpectedly, right? You could just be driving along. I think of like Chris Farley from Tommy Boy driving along, and all of a sudden the tires are in front of you. Oh my God! Right?
Yeah, the last 4th of July.
2 4th of July.
2 4th of July ago.
2 4th of July ago, we brought out a Grand Am and I put my old boss in it.
Oh.
You actually have it on video where he gets T-boned in turn 4. And that was pretty nerve-wracking moment also. Just because, that was a last-minute car. We literally got it around the night before, and it probably should have had a door bar and a cage in it.
Oh, yeah.
When you're doing last-minute things, like a lot of us do, sometimes that stuff happens. I'm just glad nobody was hurt.
Yeah.
Well, and it's one of those that, again, it's a reminder that even though it is gut and go, that the track does leave it up to you guys to go the extra mile, right? And it really encourages it. Like, I think race receivers have been pretty mandatory or close to mandatory. Maybe not everybody has one like they're supposed to, but it does help because that's where, again, kudos to the race director Stephen Woods, who has even gotten in the car and done some events at the Night of Destruction to go, okay, this is why they don't stop when we say red light, and they don't see the red light, so the track spent money, added some red lights, right? They did some different things, and he gets in the car so he can see what you guys see, right? He can have that
Yeah.
experience, and not that every race director can do that. I also get that. So
Right.
if there's a track watch and go, my race director can't do that. That's fine. That's okay. I'm just saying that this has helped
Yes.
Paris administration go, oh, there's some gaps in what we're doing. How can we help them help us, right?
Yeah.
Make it safer, because insurance watches everything too, and
Yeah.
and that's the thing, right? Like, we got to be mindful. So it's always up to the drivers. You can go above and beyond. You can put a cage in these cars. You can't overbuild them. Don't get super fancy where you overbuild it, but you don't have to underbuild it either, right? Like, you can put in door bars, you can put in the different safety apparatus, you can do those things.
You can upgrade your seat belts and everything, and
I mean, I had a racing seat, 5-point harness, and a cage in one of my cars.
your car was very fast though. He doesn't know how to drive either. He wrecked that car every night.
Oh no.
Every night.
Yeah, beat him up now.
I was glad to see it going away.
Well, one thing I do while you're taking a drink, Austin, I see Jill. I'm just going through the comments because there's been a lot of comments in here. So again, keep those comments coming, everybody. We definitely appreciate it. I look at them and I star them so I can go back. So for Jill, I know you've asked, I think, twice. So Friday, so the Survivor Enduro is Saturday, July 18th, but the Night of Destruction is this Friday night, July 3rd at New Paris Speedway. Starts at 5 p.m. with, I call them the appetizer, with Beat the Clock and spectator drags and one on, burnouts and that kind of deal. And then the New Paris Fire Department comes out, does its little thing, and then the ladies come out. It's a pretty consistent pattern, but there's some new events and all that. So it starts at 5, but the main core action is closer to 6, right? So, but there's quite a few people there at 5. So that's, again, Friday, but the Survivor Enduro is a Saturday. And then there's one other that I wanted to pull up, or maybe I did get them caught up.
And it fills up very, very fast on 4th of July.
Yep.
So
this one was sold out a few years ago where they had to send people home. Like, they could not physically put more people on the property.
Exactly.
And one thing that, you had talked about, Austin, you talked about Megan, and then even Frank a little bit. So this is from Tanner, who says, Frank was a huge part early on bridging the gap between regular racers and Nod. I myself was one of them, and Frank said to come try it, and I got humbled. And so we're not here to, this isn't going to be a stab at anybody, right? But do you want to talk about, what do you think it might take? Like, if we're brainstorming ideas and imagine like we're sitting at a campfire, talk about this kind of stuff. How can, because there's a lot of weekly racers who just, like I said, and promoters and owners who dislike Night of Destructions, but at the same time, right, that does help the bottom line. So what could we do to bridge a gap if there's a way? Like, Frank obviously built a bridge with a weekly racer. What else, what's another way that maybe we can get everyone to see, hey, we're all in this together, doing our parts to keep this track alive?
I hate saying this, but it's never going to happen. I mean, it's just everybody's got their set ways. I think they should try it before they hate on it.
Yeah. Well, but that's a fair point. Like, go try it. Like, I mean, I know Rich Bull was in here and he did an enduro a few years ago at Plymouth, and I mean, he got blasted pretty good in the first 100 laps there, and but he jumped in an enduro. Like I said, DJ McCotter, went from a Night of Destruction over. On Saturday at Kalamazoo, we had late model drivers, racing, street stock drivers racing in the Night of Destruction and doing that. So there's ways to.
I feel like a lot of drivers, like even us NOD coming to regular racing, you just kind of got to try it. You really have to, like, because like you get NOD drivers aren't going to know how to drive on that dry track. And, the regular racers aren't going to know how to drive on that wet track. Like, we are on totally different, like, surfaces. And hating on one or the other is really not doing anything other than creating drama for no reason.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't, like, just like us, we wouldn't have a track if it wasn't for the regular racing, and they wouldn't have one if it wasn't for NOD. So it's kind of like we're all in it together, and I feel like NOD drivers do pretty good about not hating on
regular
racers, because we're like, okay, like you do you, we do us, and
Yep.
we try our best to keep the track as good as we can
Yep.
for, you know, but it does help the bottom line. And especially these big races like 4th of July and Rectober are really big.
Yep.
And that's just what it
Even
is.
from a 50-50 standpoint, a lot of that 50-50 even helps, supports points funds and different things for drivers that they get at the banquets. And so for those who are watching who may not know this, and again, I'll be bringing on the voice with us here in just a little bit, but one thing that you guys do is that you also have a banquet for the night of destruction.
Sure.
Like, you guys have a dedicated banquet that you get to go and be a part of, and you get trophies and you get to celebrate and hang out and see the achievements, and they keep tabs of different things. And so, what do you think it is, again, if you had to find one magic sauce in all of this, and I know there's more, but let's say you had to pick one thing, why is it that you think that even like having a banquet, like what does that mean to you guys as a racer? And you hear I said racer.
Yes.
Not, what does that mean to you guys, to have that and have a night to celebrate what you do to help the track, put on a show, and all these other things?
I don't even think it comes down to a point of what we do. It's what all of us do. Because, I mean, it's everybody that is a consistent out there every single night comes to that. And it's basically like one big family gathering. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, it feels nice to get recognized too for, just even just having fun out there. Like we go out there, like I was a top 15 driver last year, and I was like, that was my goal. I set out goals every year, and I'm like, well, this is what I want to do, because I've never won a trophy a day in my life until I started racing. And I'm like, yes. So that was the goal last year. And honestly, it was just like, that was nice. Like I did put in a lot of work and had a lot of fun. And it was just nice to kind of have a trophy to be like, hey, we see you.
Yep. And again, that's, the only track that I really know of who does a banquet, for construction. But again, that's where it's like it's like almost like a series in a way, but again, there are, each event does have its own unique personality. Again, July, I asked this Austin earlier, but Megan, for you, this July one, what stands out to you? And then out of all the ones, what is your favorite? Austin said July is his favorite, but what stands out about the July one? And then if they're like, I like the Rectober. That one was my favorite because of the on-track autograph session and around doing the trunk or treating and just seeing all of that.
That one is my favorite. The Rectober, just hands down, it's my favorite. It's also a sad time because I know I'm not going to see my race family for like 6 months.
Right.
But that one's my favorite. And then I like the 4th of July one. I feel like we get a lot of people who don't know what they're doing, and there's a lot more accidents.
Okay.
So that one's not quite my favorite. I still love going out there, but I'm just a little more cautious because, I mean, like he said, we get more than 100 cars out there, and that's quite a bit.
Right.
When we're used to maybe like 60 on good night. But I mean, I love it. But my favorite race all time has been the Wrench It Up.
Oh, okay.
Since the beginning, that has been my favorite. I did it once, and I was hands down in love with it.
And then you did it as a Survivor 180.
Yes, and then I did that, and then I was like, yep, this is my race. I'm not the best at it, but hey, I love it.
Yep. And then I know when I saw Pac-Man for the first time. So again, for those watching who may not know Pac-Man, and now Pac-Man will also be in the trailer race too, which I'm really excited for. They did that already.
I forgot about that.
And I know they were talking about names and everything. I'm like, you got. I mean, my opinion is like not worth a nickel, but But I'm like, I would keep Pac-Man in the name because then everybody knows what to expect. Like this is things are gonna hit the fan, right?
Yes.
So if you want to talk a little bit about, like Megan, you said you're not a Pac-Man driver, like that's not your jam. But Austin, I know you've done the Pac-Man and you've had obviously different experiences there. So while just before I bring on Jeremy to kind of get him in this conversation, what is it about Pac-Man? Like, what makes that event so wild, so crazy? So, I mean, I watched it for the first time in August 2023, and I went, what the heck did I just watch?
I was probably in that one. I did it for the first little bit of my year, and then I realized I'm not good at that. I'm terrified of getting hit and then hitting the wall.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I don't want to be close to the wall. So it's not my jam.
So I mean, Pac-Man's like Pac-Man. You run around anywhere you can and try to chase him, and like just you have complete freedom of the whole track, and being able to cut across the infield wide open. You can.
That's crazy.
You can go through the corners wide open if you really want. I mean, it's just you have to strategize inside your head what car you're going after in I want to say an order, but an order, because obviously you don't want to take out the crowd favorites first,
Right.
because then it puts on for a better show towards
Yes.
the end of the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like it's you gotta be in the car to know the feeling that you get.
You're really
And-
good at it. You've rolled people too.
Yeah.
He likes to roll people in the Pac-Man.
Aaron has done it in a Shark. You know that.
Yep.
Was,
Aaron actually rolled my little brother
oh.
3 years ago in the Red Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And then
That
and
was
then
the opener.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
season opener of the following year, I rolled Doug, which he is now a regular racer.
Yep. There's quite a few of you. I mean, Joseph Smith, again, that's where you walk
Yep.
through. And you see a lot of the Hornet drivers at New Pairs. They're also Night of Destruction competitors.
Yep.
So bridging the gap, but doing your part, like, hey, we're not just here to wreck stuff. Like, we can turn left too, and we can do these. And I mean, Doug, he's on his second car, and he's so proud of it. I mean, he's been super excited with what he's doing, and he loves to show what he's doing.
Well,
so it makes it fun.
And you all have your little pink on your car,
Yeah,
right?
so most of us NOD drivers at New Paris, we have a pink stripe on our cars.
Oh,
I don't know if you've ever realized that, but all of us
attention,
all of us NOD drivers have like a little 1-inch pink stripe somewhere on our car.
I will too.
Huh. And
It's just something that Joe started, and it just kind of stuck, and we kept going with it.
yeah. Now
Just a little step.
Yeah. See, there are times that I miss some decals where I'm like, how did I not see that earlier in the year, right? Like,
Yeah.
but sometimes you see, especially on a race day, I'm running around with my, head cut off for a night,
Yeah.
and I can go a little bit of a different pace.
Yes.
I don't have, I'm still managing things, but it's not as much,
Well, and you get the best pictures of our cars too throughout the pits. Like a few of my profile pictures are of what you took of the autism car, like before I destroyed it.
Yeah.
And I have all those because I forgot to take pictures, and I'm like, oh, those are really good. Like, let me just save those.
Yep. I try to get every car. There are times I turn around, I'm like, where'd that car come from? Like I've already been down this aisle 3 times. Like,
It just pulled in.
I know the one day I was telling the rum runners, this was season opener, when they pulled in with all that trailer, or was it the last one? It might've been the last one. When they pulled in with all the, and everyone just kind of stopped. I told them, I'm like, everyone just stopped to watch what you're doing. Cause it was car after car after car on a trailer.
Yeah.
And that was the season opener.
Opener.
Yep.
And I'm like, everybody's watching that. And so again, it makes it fun. But while we're on this and talk about like favorites and everything, plus I know you guys have kids, and I've already kept you an hour here, but I'm going to bring on the voice. So since we're at the top of the hour, I'm going to do the station identification, as they say. So again, we're watching the Monday Night Rewind on Top Row Racing Media, presented by ELH Detailing, Federated Auto Parts, and National Compact Touring Series. We have been talking with Road Rage Mafia. This is the Hornet car that Megan will be taking over. Austin has his own, but we've been talking with Austin and Megan Richardson. And then Frank at one point was my co-host, but then he had to go do radio station duties. And so he kind of popped off for a moment. Cheap plug for the Thursday Night Throttle, where we're giving away BARF tickets this Thursday night to the Hartford Speedway show on Friday, July 3rd. They do have a show too. But that's the wrong graphic. Bringing on, I do that at least once a show. I click the wrong graphic because usually the top of the hour one is where I mess up the most. But we do have the voice of the New Paris Speedway joining us. Jeremy, how are you doing tonight? Oh, he's on mute. This is like COVID. Can you hear me now? You're muted. Oh, wait, I think I can. Nope, I can't. You have to do it.
No.
No.
Mute.
What about, can you hear us now?
I think it might be his earbuds messing with him.
Oh. Yeah, well, he does have a voice. You could hear him not while we figure out what's going on. Oh, wait, hold on. No, what about now, Jeremy? You got to talk. Can you hear us?
Earbuds out.
Can you
How
hear
about
us?
now?
Oh, yeah.
I can hear you now.
Yes.
Yep. So anyway, so we do have the voice, Jeremy Wortinger.
Maybe we'll do it this way. We'll just take the earbud out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
And you're sitting outside though, brave. But anyways, I'm not a super sit out in the hot guy. You know,
No.
I like 70s. That's what I want. But
I can somewhat hear you, so we'll work on the volume over here.
okay. Well, I know that you not only get to do Night Instructions, which is just so entertaining listening to you announce, but then you also get to do weekly racing. And so that's why I wanted to bring you on to do your perspective of all of this. Because now you're also a dad who has a son racing Hornets, sometimes chasing down Austin.
He does?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Hayden got into the 32 car.
I didn't know it was Hayden.
Yep. Well, we lost him for a moment. I wonder if he got a notification. He'll come back. But, I think.
I was trying to do so it's like a hero.
Uh-oh. Well, Jeremy, I'm going to hide you for now, and then when I see your image pop back up, I'll bring it back on. But because I can see him in the staging area, so I'll watch for his image. But yeah, Hayden is racing it, so now he gets to be a dad and do all that and watch that. And then it was the night that he wasn't there. He was at Lucas. I think it was Lucas Oil. He was at our Eldora. That Hayden won his first feature. So I know that it was one of those things that is like, oh, the night he's not there is the night that Hayden won his first feature in the, or no, was it Heat Race? Heat Race. Sorry, I said it wrong. Heat Race. He did that. And so, he's back. So I'm going to bring him back on. All right. But now you're muted again. No. We did have sound for a moment, you know.
Well, he's muted again.
He's better with the mic, okay?
Yeah, he is. I promise you. Hey, you know what? It's okay.
It's okay.
He's somewhat there. He'll be back. But still on your end, it shows that you're muted. Oh, there we go. Now we can hear you because we can hear everything behind you.
Perfect.
The voice.
Do we just need to buy you a mic so you can connect the mic
I
to
mean,
it?
I have one in the house, but I don't think I'd want to go get it because it's like sparkly teal or some color. I don't
Oh, man, you should bring that to the 4th of July one.
know. I don't think it would work with the distance I travel during a night.
Man.
Well,
They still carry it around.
I could. You're right.
So Jeremy's making his debut. He's never done something like this before. When I asked him earlier, I said, "Hey, what are you doing tonight around 8:00? And you want to come do this because I want this whole night to be about new pairs. Since I won't be there, I told Chris and Tracy that's my purposeful. Like, I could be talking about other events going on, but we have Thursday to do that. I'm like, I want this to be all about new pairs tonight. And we haven't had just an all new Paris one, and so." That's where, Austin, when you asked me a few weeks ago, I said, why don't we do that? Right. So that was, I asked a couple people, then I'm like, wait, I don't have anybody more. So I asked Jeremy, which I don't know why he wasn't one of my first thoughts to begin with.
What the heck's up with that?
I know. Well, and he even signed the new car too. Well, not new car, but the new wrap. I saw that and I went,
I did.
It survived the detail too, and now it's like extra protected because it has a coating over it. So
I kind of sort of asked, but not really. And then I had my fiance bring me a marker and I just signed it.
Yeah. No, it's still there. Eddie's very careful about those kind of things when he sees that. So Jeremy, I know you're joining us. We've obviously been talking with Megan and Austin, but you get to call the action. And so I've asked them, what's their favorite event and, things that they enjoy. So for you getting to announce a night of destruction, and so we'll focus on night of destruction first. What events do you look forward to calling or being a part of?
I love them all. I mean, I love chaos. That's what a night of destruction is supposed to be about, chaos. I think going back to the old school days, figure eights were one of my favorite. But that was back when people actually hit each other. I mean, they would start off the line and just obliterate each other, and that made the crowd go wild. And when the crowd goes wild, that's when I'm liking it, because that's part of my job, is making sure the crowd stays entertained. But people like Austin, are a main part of that. So figure eights, Pac-Man is fantastic because the crowd really gets into it when you have those near misses, when the Pac-Man hits the ghost or missed the ghost by like a couple inches. The crowd all gasps and enjoy that. And then the new one, the Pac-Man trailer race. Yes, please, more.
We're bringing it. We're bringing it back.
For so long, we made it to the wrench it up to mix it up, because it became, basically just a race, and I think some of those guys, they got really good. They were setting their stuff up for it. Well, you mix it up a little bit. And then we got the Pac-Man one. And that really threw a big wrench in everybody's plans and made it so much more exciting. And again, added chaos, which I love.
Well, and Chris and Tracy know this, and we talked about it on Saturday, and everyone identified, like, I always tell people, start to finish program. If you want the most bang for your buck, New Paris Night of Destruction, start to finish. But I told this to Kenny Head, who organized the Kalamazoo one. And I told this to Bob Garrett, who does Galesburg with snails and all that. And I said, because Galesburg, that bus racing, if you've never seen the figure eight bus racing at Galesburg, Jeremy, if you were on the microphone, you might be making a lot of noises and sounds and losing breath and having really strong feelings in a lot of different areas. Because I got goosebumps when they waved that green flag for the second time. I went, oh, it's about to pick up now. And they flipped over and started doing all these crazy things. But anyways, where I was going with that is, but I've also said, if I were to take individual events and rank them, the New Paris trailer race, didn't have the snuff to it, right? It wasn't awesome, but it didn't match the rest of what you got, right? And they know that, and that's where they know, like, I don't mean any offense to it. Like, we know that it was an area of weakness. And so they've been able to then add the wrench up, which added some to it, but that Pac-Man, just like you were feeling, I'm like, that was awesome the way they did that, because that is a wrench in a way, because you have that's purposely out to get you with everybody else, right? So I'm like, man, if that's going to keep growing on its own self, and that's going to be just wild and crazy too. So, and Philip, as one card, did a really nice job going and banging everybody. So, so I know that one was definitely a new favorite of mine.
I mean, the wrench or the trailer race is the highest paying race. I mean, it pays, I think, $1,000 to win. And frankly, and I've told Chris Trey this, it got boring.
Yes.
That was supposed to be the highlight of the night, and it got boring. And so, Steven and Chris and Tracy worked at it, and they came up with the wrench it up style with the timing line. And then, when we tried it, the Pac-Man style, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was phenomenal.
That made it better to watch.
Yeah, if any event can make me almost cuss because it's exciting, which I really struggle with. If anybody knows me, making sure I don't cuss is very hard. But if any event can be that good that I have to struggle even harder, it's great. And especially when the crowd gets that much more excited.
Yeah.
So last month we did the race in just a standard race Pac-Man style. This time we're doing Pac-Man style wrench it up.
Oh,
well. Leaf's gonna get tore up.
Yes.
And I'm here for it.
Me too. We would pack up our cars for the trailer race because we're just like, well, there's no point watching it. It's boring. It's the same thing over and over. Yeah. I'm over watching it. And then they came out with that one. I'm like, well, dang, now I got to actually sit and watch this.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch.
So terrible. Now just sit and watch it.
Yeah, dang.
Well, and that's where I mean, and I know Ben's on here, right? And he's saying I'm a roll again, and that's Ben puts on his own show. He kind of is his own show,
Yeah.
and he lives it and he breathes it and he has fun with it and he knows it's all in good teas and fun and everything with his spin cycle. So,
Oh yeah, and the free candy Suburban.
Yeah. But that's something that, again, as you guys talked about earlier, for those who might be joining us now that Jeremy's on, and people pop in and out throughout the night anyways, if they missed earlier conversation when we're done being live, you can always go back and watch it. I generally don't post anything until noon the next day, just so it's fresh on the timeline. But again, Chris and Tracy have gone to the wheelhouse to go, okay, how do we change this up? And Stephen Woods, I know, is part of that too. But I get some texts sometimes from them. We just brainstorm ideas, or when we're on the phone brainstorming. And that's again, they keep raising the bar, right? Like, how can we continue to put on a show? They're the cheapest night destruction ticket in town. Usually $15. I know this weekend is $18 because of the fireworks. Especially they're not cheap. And but that's something that, again, with these next races, Jeremy, you might struggle, because that Sandcat had you feeling all the feels too.
You know what? It was very inappropriate how that thing was making me feel. But I'm stoked about some new events. You might have slipped and let some of the cat out of the bag last weekend. So I'm very excited to see what the events could be. And again, chaos. I love chaos, and especially during Nights of Destruction, because that's what it's about. And anytime you can get fans to engage, NODs are like no other. It brings such a different crowd of people. It is, you would think it's not a family night, but it's more family. And then you get these new events that get fans like on the edge of their seat and involved, and they're really, really rooting for somebody, or just the excitement and the chaos of it. They absolutely love it. And I'm sure that I'm going to struggle.
I can't wait to hear his voice on those new races.
I don't even know what they all are. That's the thing. Lewis might know more of it. I don't hear nothing until I get there. I'm like, what are we doing? What's that?
It's definitely going to be one to be there for.
I mean, I don't plan on missing it.
So, one thing that also why I want to bring you on, Jeremy, too, is, you get to do then weekly racing announcing. And at Super True last year, you went to just be a fan and you messaged me and I'm like, you need to come up and get on the mic, because you can call a race too, right? Night of Destructions, you're entertaining, and I have to sometimes watch how much I'm laughing up top so that my second mic doesn't pick up me laughing at everything. Although it's a natural reaction if it did. But that's something that you also can call a street stock race and make it just as exciting and sound really awesome. So what is the challenge, like we had Will Greenwell on here a few weeks ago, who's been on the national stage as an announcer on Flow and Dirt Vision and all that. And he talked about, challenges as an announcer. For you, you get to go to between both. You've called the race at Kalamazoo, you've called the race at M40 New Paris. What makes a Night of Destruction challenging as an announcer?
I think some of it's just making sure the crowd is entertained, and you're pointing out, the things that are happening that, because obviously there's cars all over the track, whether it's a regular race or an NOD, but you're trying to watch for those exciting moments that are about to happen, because that's what these guys like Austin are out there trying to do, put on excitement and a show, and you're trying to get there and highlight it right before it might happen, right? That's a challenge, because you can't look everywhere all at once. You can't see everything all at once. When the cars are going in a circle, it's a little bit easier. But when you've got cars spread all through the grass, turn 3, turn 4, turn 1, turn 2, everywhere, you're trying to see it before it might happen, so you can grab everybody's attention and point it that way. Obviously people are going to see, things too, but that's a challenge for me. And then, also there's that added risk that these guys don't have all the safety equipment that everybody else does. So, you're paying attention for those things too.
Well, and one thing that you do too is that you don't have just a tower perspective.
No.
In fact, I bet I can count the number of minutes you're inside a tower versus the number of minutes that you're outside. That the number of minutes in the tower would be much smaller than those outside. And not only are you outside with fans and walk, but you will be all the way over in turn 2. You'll walk all the way over down towards turn, 4. Because then obviously you can't get to the other side with the pit right there. But that's something that you're bouncing around. And so what kind of perspective does that, like, I'm on the roof, so where I'm on the roof, that's my perspective, right? And I kind of get a bird's eye view of everything. But for you walking around the track, is that able to help those fans connect to the action even more and maybe give you a different perspective? Like, why is it that you like walking around and being with the fans like that?
The fans. I don't want to be one of those announcers just stays in the tower. I don't want to be just a voice that you see in a box. That's one thing I love about Nights of Destruction is the people. The little kids, they see me with the mic in my hand, and then they hear my voice through the speakers, and they think that I'm something amazing when really I'm just a normal guy, but I have a microphone. And when you see those kids, those faces light up, and I give high fives or fist bumps all night long, and that's what it's about to me is the fans. I love hanging out with them. I'll sit down right next to some people or some kids, and I'll call a race, and just that connection with them. Maybe making a little kid's day. We had a story a couple of years ago where I think it was Seth Gilbert gave me a trophy, and he said, "Go hand this to somebody." I said, "Which direction do you want me to go?" And he told me, over there towards turn 1. And I walk, and I don't try to pick people right next to the flag stand because they normally would get a lot of that stuff. And I just headed towards turn 2. And something about this little boy sitting he wasn't by himself. He was sitting on a bleacher. He had no one close to him. He was just eating a pizza Lunchable. I don't know why that sticks in my head, but I was like, that kid, I'm giving it to him. And I gave it to him. I said, "Hey, this is for you. It's from Seth, the guy that just won." And he probably didn't know his name, but he associated with the guy that just won. A couple weeks later, this lady comes to me and she's like, "Hey, I want you to know that I'm his aunt, and he had just lost his mom. I don't remember all the details, but he had just lost one of his parents. And that trophy meant the world to him in a time when he needed it." And I was like, I almost cried. But then I was like, that is why I do this. It's the fans. I do get to see things from a different perspective, because you don't really see how cars enter, the track going through 2 or whatever from, the tower or the front stretch. But it is mainly the fans. That's what I feed up. That's why I've got the crazy shoes. That's why I have all that stuff, is because fans love it.
Well, I know you shared that story on the mic, I think, at the last Night of Destruction or maybe the season opener, but I do remember you sharing that story and just how much that, meant to you at that moment. Like, again, it's one of those, like you always say, be kind. Even your shirt says, don't be a Richard, because it's one of those things that, again, you've always talked about kindness. You've talked about mental health. You've talked about these different things that you never know, like how your words might impact others. And that's why, I'm such a huge fan of you and so glad that you got to have that moment at Super Shoe and call a race and show your skills and what you can do, because you are a special person with that, not only on the mic, but just in general, right? Like how you make people feel when you're around them. And so that's something that when you shared that story, a lot of people got to see you're not just a track employee. You're not just someone there with a mic, you're actually, you're making those connections, and then you get a chance to see like how you might impact someone's day. And that's where, your jokes, just some of the things that you come up with. I'm like, wait, did he just say that? But you never know, that person might needed that laugh, and that moment gave them that laugh that they just really needed in their life.
Well, and that's part of it. Like I'll tell people, like, hey, this is a night of distraction. We're gonna have fun. And the one thing about the fans on the other side is they harass me, right? They holler at me, make fun of me, and I do it right back.
Yeah.
And that friendship, that relationship that you get with them, I'm there to showcase the race and highlight what guys like Austin and Aaron and all them do. But we're gonna have fun. We're gonna laugh about it because, like you said, you don't know. They might have needed that.
Yep.
They might be struggling with mental health issues. They might be struggling with something else. Like they went there to have fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to have fun. We're going to joke around. And that's what it's all about. I might slip some dirtier things into some of the jokes, but, It's all about having fun. That's
Okay.
what we're there for.
You definitely keep people on their feet. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. And so then when you think about that, right, and you get to have those moments and you get to call the action, what's a race or two from the Night of Destruction that has stood out to you the most, where you're like, man, I'm going to remember that forever? Like, you remember this trophy story, but is there a race, like a first win or some really exciting finish where you got to call it and you kind of think back to yourself like, dang, I got to call it?
Well, I don't remember who exactly it was. There was a guy in an SUV that rolled over going into one with a trailer behind him during a trailer race. And I ran over there like I used to do. I don't do that anymore, but I ran over there and he gets out and he's like, "Hey, can you take a picture of this?" I'm like, "Dude, what? Are you okay?" "No, yeah, fine. Can you take a picture of this?" I was like, "What are you?" I was just flabbergasted. The dude just did like 3 rolls and he was only interested in getting a picture of his vehicle and his trailer that was still attached. I don't remember who it was. Yeah.
I think Chris has it.
Yeah.
Cy Sharp.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, side,
Like-
yeah.
Like that stuck out to me. I mean, I think Ben last year rolled his free candy Suburban or one of the vehicles, and I ran out to him, and I was stuck. He's like, "I'm too fat. I can't get out." Like that stood out to me because the first thing he said was, "I'm too fat. I can't get out." Well, we got him out, but just the things that come out of people's mouths sometimes during events or after crap like that happens. That's what sticks out to me. Or Aaron rolling that red Grand Am or whatever. He smoked it and it just went rolling.
Yeah. I'll never forget when I was in the minivan and Megan was in her car and you were telling her to hit me and hit me and hit me. And I went into turn 1 and 2 and I just locked up the brakes.
I will feed into husband, wives, or kids and dads going at it, and I will always mostly go after the wife going after the husband.
I am hoping to get back on the track to hit him this year. I'm hoping.
And, I will say it, "Oh, well, he's sleeping on the couch." Because Austin's taken you out a few times.
Yeah, he has, and he has slept on the couch at the end of that.
Yep.
He has.
That's even better.
And then we go into the pits and we fight about it because I'm like, "Why'd you just do that?" And he's like, "Well, it's the only legal way to hit you."
I'm just here to have fun and just egg it on.
Oh, my.
You encourage him. Trust me.
But now you have a new story. If Austin does something to Megan on the track, you can be like, "Hey, boy, remember?" Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
last time. And then you get to include the fans in that because it's already public. I mean, there's lots of people watching already. So, it's already public. So,
And they all feed into it too. It's anything you can do that gets the crowd to feed into it, get their attention. They're going to pick a side. Like we have the one-on-one drags. You ask them who they're rooting for, and you make it more exciting because you're trying to ask them and ask them to get invested, and they are investing themselves, which makes it so much better.
Yeah.
well, and again, that's where you have the gift, right, where you can be on the spot, and you've heard announcers, all over. You go to tracks in different places and all that. Not everyone has that, and that's a skill. You need to have that kind of skill. You can learn it, but it just kind of has to be natural. And there's some things that like when I was mentioning the Sandcat, the way that you react to the Sandcat, which I reposted that clip earlier today. Just hearing it back, and I didn't include all the parts that you were, as you said, you were feeling a lot of different things at one point, and because he did not do that and beat the clock. He kind of just
No.
But then he came out in that spectator dragon. Everyone's kind of like, "Wait, what?"
I thought it was going to be terrible, and then he took off, and I literally almost cussed, and it made me tingle. And yeah, it was terrible but awesome.
Yeah, because they shoved me to the outside because they thought he was going to be slow.
Yeah.
Well, we did probably do that.
Yeah, you definitely did.
So
Well,
oh, go ahead.
And another thing that bringing him into the crowd with the customers, 4th of July, I know we do this. We do the best decorated vehicles.
Yeah.
And Jeremy does, he does really good of getting the crowd to pick out which vehicles and what burnouts. And that's another thing, him bringing the crowd into it. Like, he listens.
Yep. Well, that's exactly where I was going, Austin, is like, when you think of this July one, which is the largest crowd of the 6 of them in the season, which are all pretty large, but this is the largest. Again, what do you look forward to at the July one that maybe makes this one special or unique or different for you on the mic that maybe you don't get to do at the other ones? Like, what's when you have this many people in one spot?
Well, I mean, you get to interact with a lot more people. Like when I tell you it's about fans, like it is about the fans. That and some of these drivers is why I do it, because it is exhausting. It is exhausting. At the end of the night, I'm done, because you're talking all night. You're trying to make sure everything's going. You're talking to fans, but I think some of it's like how creative the drivers get, because like Jake Kelly has gotten super creative in some of his designs, and some of the stuff that they come up with, it's like, first of all, how did you have time? And second of all, how did you even come up with the thought to do that? And I have a guy that I know that has done NODs for a long time and has taken some time off. He sent me a picture of his car, and it looks like a professional painted it. It is amazing. And, these guys already put a ton into, the NOD drivers put a ton into, promoting the track and being out there and interacting with the fans themselves. But then they spend the extra time and the extra money and just decorate their cars. And it's awesome to me. They are diehard.
Do you want to talk about the clown?
Lewis, I came on here saying I wasn't going to cuss, but I came close just now. I don't, if any of you don't know, if you've never been to an NOD, I don't do horror movies. I don't do anything scary. I haven't even watched The Wizard of Oz in probably the last 30 years. So, one of the coneheads, Alyssa Chapman, likes to decorate her car in clowns and rub it in my face because it terrifies me. And then she painted the hood of her car with me as a scary clown. No.
It was funny.
So if you want to bring him a gift, bring him a clown.
You might make him feel really strong feelings then.
Yeah. Austin, don't do that. I don't need clowns. I have that hood in my garage right now.
Yep. But
that's pretty cool.
The work that she did on that, though, I'm like, so I told the story, and you might have seen the pictures on Facebook. So in Painesville, Ohio, and even in Lorain, you go to that side of Ohio, almost every car in the pit area is hand painted. Where here in this world that we live in, almost everyone is wrapped or has, fancy decals and all that kind of deal that they'll spend hundreds to thousands of dollars on. But you go to like East Ohio, and they're all hand painted. And there's like 2 people who do it. And I was telling her, I said, there are people who pay really good money for hand painting cars, because it's not a craft that you see in this area anymore. Everybody has to be wrapped up and have the fanciest dirt design that they can get on an asphalt car and all these things. And it's like, but you go there and it's cars like identifiable. You get the throwbacks. Like there's a Richard Petty car out there. There's different ones. And so I'm like, man, like you could make some money doing this. And because that paint job that she did with that, the detail all on that car was just crazy.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And I think hand painted cars are more beautiful in my opinion than a wrap.
Yeah.
Well, it's so nostalgic too. I mean, it brings you back to the old days before the technology of wraps, when you had to hand paint your car.
Yeah.
And there's still some doors up in my dad's loft from my brother when he raced in the early '80s from his Chevelle. Still, the paint's flaking off them, but that's like the old school stuff that I remember from a kid.
See, I've got one hanging in the shed that was my dad's. It was hand painted. It's just great.
So do you want to talk a little bit, since we're talking about like racing now a little bit, what's it been like for you this year to watch Hayden get in the car, and now you're announcing while your kid's on the track?
Well, it is hard to look 2 different places at once. My eyes don't go that way. And I think it's nerve-wracking. You talked about it. Well, we were trying to figure out the whole microphone situation, that he won his first race and I was gone. Yeah. I beat myself up so bad. Oh my gosh. That hurt. But it is I think announcing it takes some of the nerves away. Now the last weekend, I think I've had more nerves than I ever have. But it takes some of the nerves away. But it's hard, like to tell you, like watching your kid race while you're calling his race, because you're trying to watch him how he's doing. You're trying to watch the action. It's hard, but I love it because I've got to do what very few people get to do ever. So I got to announce his first ever qualifying, his first ever race. You know, I got to do all those things. So I feel special. I've got to do that, but it's very nerve wracking at the same time because it's your kid, and he's racing, and there ain't a damn thing you can do to help him because he's on his own, and you're just calling the action.
Yep. Well, and that's where, you know, you got Spencer back there who obviously knows his way around New Paris, and he does Night of Destructions too. You know, he's a weekly racer who will jump over into the Night of Destruction, does really well in the trailer races and all that. But, you know, so obviously there's a lot of knowledge around Hayden.
Oh, yeah. When Hayden's racing, he's not my kid. He's Spencer's kid.
Yeah.
I could not do the things that Spencer does because I might have been around a racetrack for a long time, but I don't know jack about cars like that. But Spencer and Hayden, they work great together, and I know that Hayden's in good hands when he's with Spencer. That makes it a lot easier.
Austin, do you want me to switch the screens?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yep. So here we go. Add to stage. There we go. So now you just saw.
We had to swap phones because one was dying.
Yep. Well, we're almost done here. That's where we're getting close to the top of the hour. So we usually get off at 9. Sometimes some of them have gone long, but 9's good. And you know, just because I know a lot of people have things to do, and I'm taking a lot of your time tonight, which I appreciate. But as I feel bad that I'm not going to be there Friday. You know, it's one of those.
Yeah. What the world, man?
Yeah.
You know,
Why can't you duplicate yourself?
Right?
I haven't done that. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. But it's one of those head-to-heads where it's like, man, you know, like. But I'm like, well, it's a Friday, so I'll be at Kalamazoo because it's a Friday. Where I'll be at Flagger Boy, which is a Saturday opposite Hot Shoe, which is going to Kalamazoo. So I'm like, it kind of balances out maybe, but then we have a Night of Destruction September 13th. That's head-to-head too with New Paris Night of Destruction. So I'm like, okay, but so I'm missing the next 2 Night of Destruction. So I won't be there until October now.
Unacceptable.
I know it's one of those few, but I only missed one weekly race, and that was the only one that I was missing was for the Rodney Russell. So I'll be at all the weekly races and trifecta stuff. But yeah, Night of Destructions, I'm like, it's just kind of how it fell this year again with going head to head. But that's where I'm like, this Monday, and Austin knew a few weeks ago, I said this Monday is all about New Paris, and so, but I'm also keeping everybody's time while doing it. But one thing that I, you know, wanted to know too, Jeremy, you know, and while we even have Austin on and everything, who, you know, if you had to pick your own race and Tracy and Chris came to you and said, you get to pick 5 drivers, and it doesn't have to be Austin, by the way, just because he's on here, you can make fun of him while you're at it. It's
You can.
you know, you might pick Megan over Austin, I don't know, but
Yeah.
you know, just thinking, because I'm going to ask them the same thing, so that's why I want them hearing it. But I'm going to start with you because now you're in the middle on the screen. You know, if you had to pick 5 drivers from the Night of Destruction to go out and do a 5-lap shootout in any design, whatever, who, you know, whether it's the Widow or whatever, like what we did with Victor and all of them, you know, where we had kind of battle. Who, you know, who are your 5 drivers who you would pick just because you know, like, this would be balls to the wall, crazy, wild, whatever?
So it'd be Aaron Hapner, Seth Gilbert, Spencer, Austin, and the 5th one might be hard because you got some other good ones. You got, or I would say maybe Oreo.
Oh yeah.
And maybe and why I can't remember his name right now is beyond me.
Mitch?
Yeah, because
No, not Mitch.
Oreo. What his name?
He's gonna kill me for this later.
I don't know it either, actually. I don't think
I'm not good with names, so I'm surprised I remembered all that. I know faces and cars.
Me too. That's my problem.
But I think those 5 would be the greatest because you've got guys that are going to send it, and they are going to send it hard. I mean, when we did those races last time, I mean, it was crazy, and I think we only did 6 laps total, maybe. Was it?
Yeah.
We did 2,
Yeah.
2, and 2. And I don't think everybody finished
No.
because they're out there and they're sending it for all it's worth. And that's what makes it great.
And it's Todd Cooley. Here's how you can remember this. Think of
Good
Cool
job.
Whip, like Cool Whip, Cooley, Cool Whip. You know, just
That's a good one.
because he's Oreo. So, you know, if you think of like desserts and all that, you know, Cool Whip, that's kind of how I remember. Because the one time Todd and Mitch, I mixed up, not on purpose. Like my head, I mixed them because they weren't standing by their cars. So
Yeah.
I think Todd is Cooley, but like I think a Cool Whip, and then that helps me remember Todd. I don't know why.
You know, and he's going to kill me even more because the original New Paris Patriot car, the 79 with the little eagle on the side of it, I have the driver's door.
Oh,
So he's going to be really upset because I forgot.
But
Sorry,
in-
Todd.
you do say that you and names don't get along. I mean, you
Yeah.
tell everybody that. So, and it's just not right. I mean, and just think it's easier. Like I have so many people who say Lewis, and sometimes I have to like jog my memory. Like I just ran into someone at Kalamazoo on Saturday who I hadn't really seen much. Like I've seen them, but not with their short hair and all the things. And we had a great conversation, but he had to jog my memory a little bit. But then I remembered, right? Like you just got to help jog it. But it's easier for everybody to know your name because you're the guy with the mic, and everybody knows Jeremy, but you can't know 5,000 people.
No. And that follows me everywhere because, like, I hear it throughout the night. I hear my name so many times, and I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
when me and Lena are out somewhere or with the kids too, they're like, somebody will come up to me and she'll be like, "How do you know them?" I was like, maybe the racetrack. I don't know.
That's him too.
Yeah. Well, so Megan, I'll ask you the same question in Austin. You could do it together individually. 5 drivers, 5 laps, or whatever. Who are your drivers?
So mine's not even really drivers. It's just something I would want to see. I'd
Okay.
want to see Jeremy,
Oh,
Chris, Tracy, Steven, and probably Jason Lulai. All in
geez.
race.
Oh my god.
5 laps, just roundy rounds, just to see what kind of show that they could put on.
yeah, I like that.
I've never raced on that track ever.
I think we should change that by the end of the year.
Never
Yeah.
done it.
I think we should change that by the end of the year.
You know what'll be bad if I do that? My son will probably be faster.
That's fine. He's faster than me.
It's lucky.
But see, that could be like the administrators race. You know.
Yes.
Oh,
Like they used to have the mechanics race.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, well, here you go. Tracy's already saying she's in, and we know she has a Hornet, and she's raced at New Paris, so she knows her way around. Chris
Oh
is
yeah.
know his way around with all the tractors and the tow trucks and everything else.
Oh,
Oh,
you wish
goodness.
for?
So, and then we have Tracy would win from Jeremy. So,
Wow,
Yeah.
Jeremy. Come on.
She would.
so yeah, I've not watched. I don't think I've seen her race before. I feel like there's like listen to her past. I feel like there might have been a time that I've seen her race, but that would be fun to see. I kind of talk about like with Donnie Ritter. He's the promoter at Kalamazoo, owner now at Springport. I hear all the stories, and I saw him race in enduro, and I'm like, dang, he's out there doing the thing. And obviously that's not a late model like what he raced, but I just hear how he won at Galesburg one night and then loaded up and went to Butler, and the feature started just in time where he won 2 races in the same night and all these things. So like you hear stories and you hear things. It'd be fun to actually see that. So yeah. It just needs to happen when I'm there. That's the only thing I would ask for selfishly is like I need to be there for this. But then Megan, for your 5 drivers, which maybe Tracy you could throw in there because you know girl power, right?
Oh,
You know?
I'm choosing all 5 girls.
Yeah. So who are your 5?
I'm gonna go Felicity, Tabitha, Tori, Tracy. Ooh, who would my 5th be? Ooh, I don't know. I kind of want to be in that race, honestly.
But you can put yourself in the race.
Okay, I'm going in it. I would want to be in that. We're going 5.
Yeah, 5 laps, you know, to see, because again, you know, that's always a fun thing to think about. It's like, who would you want to go against or who would you want to compete against or try that with? And so, So that's why I wanted to ask that, because again, you guys get to not only see it from a driver's perspective, but you get to watch as a fan, and then obviously, Jeremy, you get to watch calling it and being a part of it in a whole different way. So when we think about this, as we wrap up on the other side here, we got about 10 minutes left. So Jeremy, one thing too that I wondered if you might share with fans is how can they help, the track, especially not only this Friday, but what's something that they can even do, like if they have such a great experience, because it's rarely the great experience that you hear about.
Yeah.
It's the unhappiness that you hear about on social media. So how can fans highlight hey, you need to be at this New Paris Night of Destruction. It'll knock your socks off. So you're the voice. How do you cut a promo? 30 seconds, sell the Night of Destruction this Friday night.
I mean, I tell people to pack up a cooler, grab some friends, grab a blanket, grab some adult beverages, grab some food, get a grill if you need to. If you can't get any of that, we've got food at the track. Come for an action-packed night with friends and family. We're going to laugh, we're going to have fun, and we're going to crash some stuff. That's kind of it. But for fans, to get it out to one another, if you've had a great time, say something to somebody. Tell at least one person. Or, another thing I'll do is, if you're sitting in the stands, grab your smartphone, tag New Paris Speedway, tell people where you're at and what you're going to do. I mean, what you're here for. We're going to have fun. I think just that word needs to get out more. I mean, that's all it is. I mean, tell people that you've had fun, that you've met somebody new, because that's one thing that's awesome about those NODs is you're going to meet somebody. You're going to make a friend. It might be, I've met people there that I've made friends with, and they'll be lifelong friends. And I would have never known them if they hadn't come to an NOD or, I wasn't doing my job. I mean, it's got to tell people that you've had fun and maybe who you saw, what you saw. Maybe you saw Austin T-Bone somebody destroy a car his first race out, because he's good at that.
Yeah.
I very well have.
That's why we have our pages.
That's pretty much the reason we bring 5-6 cars a night, because I go through a couple cars a night, and well, I'm kind of slack on this one.
He is.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, just they got to get it out to one another. Like you said, you rarely ever hear about the good things. You hear the bad things. People just need to talk to one another. I mean, everybody's on Facebook. You see people. Tell everybody how much fun you had.
Yeah, and especially pictures, right? Showing it too.
And that's where you come into play. I don't think enough people give you credit, because before you were there, we didn't have any of this, and then you showed up and you were able to put those images or those those short clips of spectacular events or wrecks that happened, and people can see it, and maybe that will entice them to come out to a Night of Destruction in New Paris, just from the chaos that you showed and how much fun it was. And maybe my ridiculousness was in the background of that clip.
Well, again, it's having all the sound come through this year. I can definitely hear you because you're in my left ear, and I'm just, even on a normal race night when something happens and you do Skedios or something like that, I'm just out there laughing, and I'm like, don't laugh hard enough for the microphone to hear it. Don't laugh harder because it's far enough away. But I mean, you keep me entertained, and I'm on the roof because I'm kind of by myself. No one comes out. No one comes up to hang out with me or anything, except Andy. Sometimes she'll come there and hang out with me, or Tracy will climb up the ladder, while she's delivering food or something. I'm like, you should be like, the videographer takes the food or gets the hose again, something like that. But, Chris will climb up every now and then too, just to say something, but I'm kind of by myself up there. So, at least having a voice in my ear, it's not in my head. I do hear voices, but they are usually asleep by then. But, having that, again, you keep it entertaining. And I know that fire truck, I was telling them earlier that New Paris fire truck, usually at least once a night when I post that, we had one, it was Canada, a province in Canada had the #1 views. There's only 2 videos on my page that have never had a state be #1. One was bowling at Super Shoe, bowling ball. At Super Shoe, that was England. That had over 1 million views in England, the UK. Why? I don't know. But apparently it was super popular over there. And then the second one was the New Paris fire truck in British Columbia, Canada, had the #1 views out of every region, beat every U.S. state. Didn't beat the U.S. as a whole. U.S. as a country was #1, but individual ranking in the top 10, British Columbia, Canada, #1. So
Well,
I'm like,
and that's what you're doing for local racing around here. Because I know you're not just in New Paris, you're at other tracks too, but you're helping spread that around to help keep the sport going and highlight tracks and events. And, I might be able to say a promo to get people there. Austin and Megan, they do their thing promoting it, but you're doing just as much as the rest of us.
Yeah.
If not
Absolutely more, because you're going from track
Yeah.
to track to track, maybe 3 tracks in 3 days.
yeah, and well, that's again, and that's where I enjoy it, right? And it's not about me, by the way. So but
Well,
I appreciate
sometimes
that.
it needs to be, because
Yeah.
what you are doing is a lot more than some of us are doing, and you're doing it, because you love it. We love what we do in our part of the sport, but you need some credit too sometimes.
Yeah, because you're not just doing it for us. You're doing it for multiple different tracks in 2 different states, if not 3.
Yeah.
Like there's times that you have to take more credit than what you're given.
Well, I appreciate that, but not about me. But I think here's a moment that does stand out. That made me obviously on this show too. We've even talked about finances a little bit, because there are people who will criticize me because YouTube is monetized and that kind of deal. I'm like, okay, but I'm still like a lot in the hole, So
Yeah.
I'm doing well apparently. I'm not like some money like some think, and that's a if you know thing, which you probably know, but and people watching know, but it's one of those that I always tell people, this is not about the money. If I were based on money, I would have been broke a long time ago and done. Like I would not be able to do what I'm doing. I would have lost in 2023. Like I would have given up then. But like Race Bible, his mom came up to me. He's a racer up at Springport and now Angola and all that, does modifieds, late models. His mom was in Texas one night, came up to me the week after at Springport and said, I was so stressed that I wasn't able to watch him race, but following your clips and my race pass, I was able to put it all together and felt like I was there at the event. But where it matters at New Paris is with the 2 gender reveals that we've done, right? Obviously, with Tori and doing that and having that, and I said, wouldn't that be full circle? And she had the same idea too, full circle. If she won that ladies race 1 year to the mark of when they did their gender reveal, and then sure enough, then I'm up top doing my own things, getting ready to post that she just won, and I hear, and Lewis and I were talking just before, and I'm like, she's in victory lane, and one of her thoughts included a conversation she had with me, and I'm like, that just meant a lot, right? Because it's like, she didn't have to do that. She didn't even have to think about me in that moment, but to have that full circle moment, like me watching that's worth more than any nickel, dime, dollar, or whatever, all the presidents you can throw. Moments are worth all of that. And so that's where it's like, I tell Chris and Tracy, I have their back, right? Like I have their back. I'm going to support New Paris and promote New Paris as best as I can to, I want people there. I want people to go see it. And that's why I ask you, because I've told drivers, I don't know what you've heard. I know what they've heard, but you need to come try it, because I know what I heard. And if I had based it just on that, when I went there for the Summer Sizzler, that was my first trip to New Paris since a little kid, was that Summer Sizzler 2023. If I had gone in and just based it on everything I had heard, I would have never given New Paris a chance. And they treated me, and still to this day, with nothing but respect, right? And very caring and all that. So it's like, Chris and Tracy don't always get enough. And I know sometimes they have to make hard choices and hard decisions. Like, at the end of the day, they're owners, and it's their savings account that's on the line. It's not my savings account. It's not any of our savings account that's on the line. It's theirs, and it's their future that they are leveraging every week they open the gates. And because everybody knows it takes one thing, and it's a Dollar General, or it's a solar farm, or it's just sitting like Illian. That's one thing that's why I wanted to ask you, since you are the voice, like, what's that one thing that fans can do? And I think it's sharing, and even drivers, it's sharing more of those positive things, like, hey, give it a shot once. And if you leave and you feel the same way that you did before, okay, you know what? You can't change that, right? But at least give it a shot.
I mean, everybody at that track, and I don't highlight everybody, because I can't know everybody's name, but they will do their best to make sure your experience is good. I mean, and we're going to have fun. If you listen and watch the races, I'm going to try my best to make sure you have fun and that you've had a good time. It's just that. Just spread the word that you've had a great time, and maybe who helped you have that great time.
Yep. Well, I know you can hear the hecklers on the backstretch. You
Oh
always
yeah, and I love going back and forth with them because I'm always louder.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Every time you say that, I'm like, and then they'll get on their bullhorn and they'll try to out bullhorn you, and it's like you still have the microphone, and you could always go turn up your volume if you wanted to.
Some of those guys are they're 3 sheets to the wind, so I'm gonna let them have some fun. Whatever.
I love that.
But I know we're almost here at 9. So what kind of last things that maybe we haven't covered yet that we want to make sure that everybody knows going into this Friday? Other than it's an $18 ticket, again, it's usually $15, but with fireworks, and if you've not seen firework prices, I tell you, like if you want a good show, you're spending multiple thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
So that totally makes sense. Still cheaper than anybody else.
Yeah.
By $2 if you base it on Indiana, Southwest Michigan tracks. Some charge 25 or more, so still cheaper. But you can bring in your own food and all that, which I tell Chris and Tracy, I don't promote that as much because I would rather see concession stand food be sold. Because that $1, I can promise. I tell people they're not making that much on concession stand food that you might think.
No.
There's not a lot of profit margin there, but cents add up. And where at the end of the night, instead of being this much in the hole, they might be a little less in the hole, right? But obviously people can bring in their own food. They can grill. They can come in and set blankets down. They can do these kind of things. You can play games in the parking lot. There are areas to go. I know the pavilion is reserved this weekend, so no one that's a family in there. But is there any last words or any one last thing that we haven't talked about in this time frame that people should know about not only this night of destruction, but maybe New Paris in general? And I'll start with Jeremy.
Put me on the spot again.
It would have been Megan and Austin, but they moved one bar over.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
New Paris it stands out because it's one of the only tracks where you can actually, if you get there soon enough, and there are people that camp overnight at the gate, no joke, to get there, you can park your car up to basically the stand. It's a family event where it's awesome, it's fun. Some people are there all day long. Everybody comes out for 4th of July, like Megan had mentioned earlier. There's a lot of cars that come out, and it's going to be an action-packed night. We're going to have 2 new events that are, I'm sure, to entertain. Like, are you not entertained? It's going to be fun. You've got crazies like Austin over there that are going to tear some stuff up, and that's what it's about. We're going to have fun. We're going to make memorable moments. I have an outfit I have picked out that I'm going to wear, a new one. It was going to be a suit colored like my shoes, but it wasn't going to be here in time. So I have another one because there's always got to be something new. So I'm going to dress up for it. We're going to have fireworks. We're just going to have a great freaking time. And the guys over here driving the cars, they're going to put on all the action, and I'm going to put a sound to it and make some laughs. And we're going to try to make sure everybody leaves happy. At least they've laughed a little bit throughout the night.
If it's not from us, it's from him.
Yeah.
Listen, Lewis, you and I have talked about this a lot of times.
Yeah.
You've given me a lot of accolades, but what I've always told you, and I've told everybody else, I am no one special. I might have a kind of famous around here last name, but I'm no one special. I'm paid to talk, and I love to make people laugh and call races. That's all it is. And because of these guys like Austin and Megan that put on a show, makes it easier for me. But I'm no one special. I just love what I do and love interacting with fans and drivers and Victory Lane.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially when it's a first timer. Like I know you, even last week, you're like, I love these.
The emotion, that is one of the things that is a feeling you can never get rid of. Seeing that emotion right away from somebody when they can barely talk or they're so excited with other people. And I started doing interviews with NOD drivers a couple of years ago because I had left them out, and that meant the world to them. So you get all of it. And I cannot pay them back for what they're giving me. There's no way between the fans and the drivers. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, like when I share my stories, that there's I always tell people when you're in this kind of stuff, there's more value in the moments and the memories that you get to help create, share, experience together, the collective, that you can't see on a Facebook clip.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
that's where, I get like it's going to be hot and people might want to be tempted to stay home and just wait for clips or videos or whatever, which fine, but then you miss out on those moments and experiences in person that you get to share together as a whole. And that's worth, I always tell people that will always be worth more than any dollar I might get.
Yep.
Yeah, bring some sunscreen, some water, Gatorade. If you're drinking alcoholic beverages, get a water in between or a Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
And come out because we're going to have fun.
Yeah, the EMTs
We are.
going to be busy up in the top, so definitely take care of yourself.
Yeah.
It's American Dew, not
yeah,
Mountain Dew.
because of the 250 thing. But so Megan, Austin, any last parting words? Because Buju's not here, so usually at this part of the show, we always do it's time to turn left and go fast, and he does. We'll see you at the races. So I'm gonna, we're not here. He's not here to do that, so I don't want to quite steal it from him. But last words from you guys as we head into Friday, July 3rd for the Night of Destruction at the New Paris Speedway.
Well, I hope I see everybody there. I can't wait to see what The Voice has up for us this week. And I hope to see you guys there.
Megan?
Hey, we're anxious, but we're ready. We are ready to put on a show for everybody safely. And I'm ready to see some fireworks.
Me too.
Oh, see, you got to meet you. You got a boat in the background. So
I do.
So again, in those fireworks, I know they were really excited for the firework display that they had last year, and I think it's the same guy who's going to be helping them this year. So, so since we're at the top of the hour, this is always my favorite part too, to do all these reminders. Where again, you've been watching the Monday Night Rewind, presented by ELH Detailing, Federated Auto Parts, and the National Compact Touring Series. We've been spending 2 hours with Austin and a little less than that with Megan from Road Rage Mafia. And you'll get to see this Hornet. She gets to take over here in a couple weeks. And then joining us also is Jeremy Wortinger for the last hour here on Top Row Racing Media. And then for a little bit, we had Frank, but he was doing radio station work. So he had to go really early. And don't forget, again, you can throttle up this Thursday. Buju and I are back. Reminder, we do not have a show next Thursday, July 9th, or whatever date that is, because we will both be at the World of Outlaws at the Hartford Speedway. But this Thursday, Leah Dibble and Timmy Dibble will be joining us because Timmy gets to pick the names for those who receive BARF tickets to the Hartford Speedway event on Friday, July 3rd. They also have fireworks, but like I said, we'll talk about that on Thursday. This is New Paris this night. Quick reminder, get your detail, use the code Top Row, and you can get entered for a chance at one, maybe two, depending on how many details you get, on the house from ELH Detailing, marketing partner of Top Row Racing Media. And don't forget, I'm joining the same bandwagon as everybody else with the 25% off. So if you go to the website, toprowracingmedia.com store, you can get 25% off on all orders that are $15 or more. So, and that goes through July 6th at 11:59 p.m. So definitely head on over there and see some T-shirts, stickers, especially the BARF stickers, where it's Bring a Race Fan. If you haven't heard BARF yet, BARF is Bring a Race Fan. So definitely do that. But like I said, we have been talking with Jeremy, Austin, and Megan. And I know it's 9 o'clock. It's going to get hot the rest of this week again. So everybody stay hydrated, stay cool, especially if you're working outdoors. Megan, Austin, have fun this Friday night. Again, I'll be watching to see how everyone's doing. Jeremy, I know you're going to do an incredible job as always. But you'll get to see your signature the following Saturday when we're back for weekly racing at the New Paris Speedway. But until then, thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Austin and Megan, for being on so long too tonight to talk about the New Paris Night of Destruction. Again, $18 adult general admission, Friday, July 3rd, not Saturday. If you go there on Saturday, nobody will be there. Friday, July 3rd, and it starts at 5 p.m. with Beat the Clock, I think is the first race out. So, Again, I hope everybody has a great night, and we will see you all on those who join us on Thursday. If not, we're back next Monday on the Monday Night Rewind with Leah Dibble again. It's a lot of Dibble show. Leah Dibble, because we'll be talking about World of Outlaws next Monday, and we're trying to get some World of Outlaw drivers to join us to talk about the World of Outlaw race next Thursday, July 8th, 9th, whatever it is. I should know, but I don't remember the July dates right now, but I know it's not this Thursday, next Thursday. So again, we'll see everyone later. It's almost time to turn left and go fast.
Yes.
Who wants to say we'll see you at the races? Somebody say it.
Oh, that's my
Races.
closing line.
Oh, there you go.
There
Just
you go.
remember, be kind to one another, and we'll see you at the races.
Yeah.